Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to set up Commodore Amiga within RetroFE. So I'm going to go through everything with this, including setting up a new layout, or as RetroFE refers to it, as a layout, which is actually a theme, or so I say. So I'm going to be showing you how to download a core within RetroArch to support this. I'm going to be showing you how to get artwork, and this is pretty much based on setting up a CoinOps themed system. CoinOps videos, the showcases that I've uploaded recently, are all pretty much based on RetroFE. So this is going to be a new series, which also comes from my previous RetroFE and GameCube setup guide, which I did the other day. So if you want to take part in this, then follow this video series, which I'm about to start now. Check this one out. So before I start today's setup guide for RetroFE and Commodore Amiga, just make sure to hit notifications, subscribe and like so you don't miss upcoming RetroFE content and many other videos that I upload pretty much every day nowadays, even twice a day in some cases. I cover a whole range of front-end systems plus standalone emulation for retro computer games. So if you didn't watch my RetroFE initial setup guide the other day, be sure to check that one out. But what we're doing today is looking at Amiga. So what we're going to do first of all is, here's my RetroFE folder, and this is the structure, what you're going to get. So make sure you download RetroFE, and you can actually grab that from the RetroFE website. Just download this. This is the latest version, which is 0.10.31, and just extract it. That's all there is to it. So what we're going to do to emulate Amiga today is actually grab RetroArch. So I'll leave the links in my description. So download RetroArch, and we don't want to download the nightly nor the stable, but we want to download a portable copy of this. So I'm using Windows 11. I'm going to select download 64-bit. So if you're confused of which one you need to download, 32 or 64-bit, just type into your search bar system information, and under system type you're going to find what type of computer you got. As we can see, I've got a 64 base PC. So I'm going to download the 64-bit. Now, whilst we're waiting for this to download, we need to talk about ROM files. So Amiga emulation requires something called Kickstart ROMs, which the original Amiga computers ran from. So let's just open up RetroArch a sec, as that's downloaded. And we're just going to extract RetroArch Win64 onto the desktop for now. So while that's extracting, just take a look at the libretto library just there. This is PUAE, and this is the core through RetroArch, or rather emulator if you will, that we're going to be using. Here we're going to find which file extensions we could use for RetroArch in RetroFE. So most commonly Amiga games are in .adf. Now I'm using a different type of image today, and it's a HDF file, but you can find out here extension it takes even WHD load, which is probably just as fast as .hdf games. And if we just scroll down a little bit further, we're also going to find which Kickstart ROMs we need, and here they are. This is the whole list from the Amiga, say 1000, up until the Amiga CD32, and you can grab these here. They're not too much to purchase, and once you've got your Kickstart ROMs, you can pretty much use them for everything emulated wise, even using them in a real Amiga computer. So if we go back to RetroArch then, we just extracted RetroArch, and what I'm going to do is just rename this. So just right click on the folder, rename, and just take away the hyphen Win64 or Win32 if that's what you're using. Now what we're going to do next then is open up RetroFE folder, and here, if you don't have it already, we need to create a new folder here called Emulators. And once we got our Emulators folder created, what we're going to do is just drag and drop that RetroArch folder inside of here like this. Now what we need to do is open up RetroArch itself, and we need to download a core. So if you're new to RetroArch, core is pretty much an emulator, very small emulator, which RetroArch runs its games from rather. So just scroll down, Retroarch.exe. If I just go to settings for now. We're going to go to video and full screen mode, start in full screen mode. And if we back out, what we're going to do then is download our core. So this is under main menu, load core, download a core, and we're specifically looking for Commodore Amiga PUAE. So this is a whole list of what RetroArch supports on PC. And here we go. So we got two. We got Amiga PUAE, and we've also got another core, PUAE 2021. I'm going to download PUAE, and now we've got a hashtag next to it, which tells us that it's been downloaded and installed. So if we back out of here, configuration file, just save current configuration, and we're going to go to quit. Okie doke, so that's the RetroArch side of things done for now. So if we go to collections, this is where all your systems in your games or your ROMs are going to be stored. For example, RetroFE as standard comes with main, and it also comes with Genesis. And inside of here, we got some subfolders, including a ROMs folder. So we need to build one for Amiga. So what we're going to do is just go out into the root of RetroFE. And what we're going to do is open up a terminal by right-clicking the empty space, terminal. And I've just copied some script into this terminal, and I'm going to leave it in my description so you can literally copy and paste this. With a quote mark, I'm going to put the name of the system, which is Commodore Amiga, and this is going to create us a folder with subfolders in our collections folder. If I press enter and just quit out of this now, we go back to collections, we can now see Commodore Amiga, and we've also got some artwork folders here. Next thing we want to do is look at the Settings.config. If we open this up, I'm going to delete everything just here, and I'm going to just paste in my own script. And this is Super Nintendo. What we need to do, again, I'm going to leave everything here in my description so you can copy and paste. Launcher, I'm going to type out Commodore Amiga, and also under metadata.type, I'm going to type in Commodore Amiga again. And under list.extensions, this means which type of file extensions do we want to use with this RetroArch core. So we can type in different extensions here, such as ADF, comma, and I also capitalize these as well. I'm also going to type in HDF, comma, and capital HDF. And that should do us for now. So when it comes to doing these, just make sure there's a space in between, exactly like I've done it. So from here, I'm going to just go to File and Save, and just close this down for now. Now, whilst we're in this folder, I'm going to drag and drop my game into this Commodore Amiga ROMs folder. As we know, I'm using HDF. I got Zool just here, just drag and drop. And if I come out of here and out again, next thing we're going to do is go to Launchers.Windows folder. And once we're in here, we're going to find a load of .conf files. This is all configuration files. So there's actually no Commodore Amiga in here. So what I'm going to do is create one of these files. So just right click, new, text document, and I'm going to call this Commodore Amiga. Whoops. And I'm also going to make this into a .conf file extension, as we can see. Press and this, we now have Commodore Amiga.conf. If I open this up and Notepad, we're obviously going to have an empty document just here. So what I'm going to do is just right click and paste some scripts here too. So here's the script, but we need to link some of this up with that RetroArch core. So what I'm going to do is just go back out into Emulators. I'm going to go to RetroArch, my cores folder, and here's my PUAE core I've just downloaded through RetroArch. If I right click on this, copy as path, and I'm going to go back to that configuration file, and I'm going to paste this in. Now I need to get rid of the commas on this, so there's two to get rid of. And again, just like everything else, I'm going to leave this in my description so you can copy and paste. Just go to File, Save, and close this down. And finally, before we launch RetroFE, there's one last thing we need to do here. We're going to go into Collections, Main, and menu.txt. And when this opens up, we need to type in Commodore Amiga. And what this document does is displays our systems inside of RetroFE. If you don't do this, your system isn't going to show up inside of RetroFE. And also remember to file and save. One final thing we need to do, I was talking about Kickstart files earlier on for Amiga. So to do this, we need to download from Amiga Forever or wherever you get your Kickstart ROMs from. We need to put these into the correct place, otherwise without these your Amiga games aren't going to launch. If we just go to Emulators, RetroArch, and we're going to find a system folder, and you can just paste in or copy in your Kickstart ROMs into this folder here. Once that's in place, we are actually now ready to open up RetroFE. Here we go, so we got Commodore Amiga and we're going to clean this up shortly, so just go into that, and here's my games all, open it up. And as we can see, that's working just fine. So what we're going to do is press Q to come out of RetroFE and close it down. Now, as we know, we've seen Commodore Amiga displayed just there, but it looks a bit bland. So what we're going to do is actually add some artwork to this to really bring it out. So first of all, if I go to Collections and go to my Commodore Amiga folder, in your medium artwork folder, this is all going to be displaying your game art and your video art. If we come out of here and go into system artwork, this is going to be displaying the Commodore Amiga logo and even a video. So I find the best way to get your artwork and everything else is by using something like RetroBat or even Emulation Station and using a scraper, as RetroFE doesn't have a scraper itself. Okay, if you don't use Emulation Station or anything with a scraper in it, there's a real solution around this. And this is going to take you a considerable amount of time if you want to do this manually and you've got a fair few games. What I'm going to do is just type into Google Amiga ZOL artwork. And if we go to images from here, we can find some 3D images, and we need to be looking for JPEG or .png images. So let's just go for something very basic for this. Let's go for this one. If I right click on this, save image as, and as we can see, this one's actually come up as a JPEG. I'm going to download this one to the desktop so I know where it is. So as we can see, the naming of this file is zol_cover.jpg, which is JPEG. So we need this to match exactly how our game is titled. So if we look at my game, it's just ZOL. So what we need to do is just rename this. So right click on it, rename ZOL. Now like I said, if you're using RetroBat or Emulation Station to scrape your artwork, you won't need any of this. This is just a way of showing you in case you don't know how to do that. So what I'm going to do is go to medium artwork folder, and this is obviously going to be the front cover of ZOL. And if I go to artwork front, now this is titled just ZOL, just like my game. I'm going to drag it inside of here. And we're also going to want a logo as well. So again, if we open up the logo folder and refer back to Google Images for this, what I'm going to do is just put Amiga ZOL logo. So we'll just use that one for now. It's a little bit rough. No, actually, I'm going to go for this one, I think. Or I'm going to go for this one. So right click on it, save image as, and this is a .png, which is good. And we're also going to make sure this one is titled exactly the same as the game image and the other JPEG that just downloaded. So again, desktop and save. Now we can drag this one inside of the medium artwork logo folder. And finally, we've even got a video section for this. So randomly, I've got a folder full of MP4s for some Amiga games. And this is actually Amiga CD32. So what I'm going to do is just make a copy of this and put the MP4 into that video folder. And once that's in there, obviously I need to rename this so it just says Zool. So Zool.mp4, and just enter on that. Now if I just open up RetroFE again just to make sure everything there is working. Okay, so as we can see, we got a video there, we got a logo, and we got some artwork. So the next thing we're going to want to spruce up is the Commodore Amiga logo itself. So to do this, it's just going to be another process of going to Google Images and finding a Commodore Amiga logo. So I'm going to just type in Commodore Amiga logo. And we're going to take this one just here, right click on it, save image as, and again this needs to be in JPEG or .png. So what I'm going to do is actually title this one logo and save it to my desktop. And whilst we're here, I'm also going to download a picture of a Commodore Amiga, and I'm going to put Commodore Amiga 1200 because let's face it, that's the sexiest amongst them all. So just grab this one for now. This is an Amiga 1200. Save image as, and that one's a WEPT file, which are very annoying. If we can find one which is a JPEG or a .png, save image as JPEG. And this one I'm going to title as device and save that to my desktop again. Now if we go back to collections folder in RetroFE, Commodore Amiga, if we go to system artwork this time, we're going to drag the logo, which I just renamed, and device I just renamed inside of here. So when you're doing what I'm about to do, these need to be named logo and device, and we can also put a video in here, and I'll show you what I mean in a sec. So if I grab another video and put it into this system artwork folder, I'm going to just paste it. And this one I'm actually going to rename as video. So video MP4. So just remember, system_artwork is giving you the artwork in a video for the presentation of Amiga itself, whereas medium artwork is going to be based on each game. So if I open this up again, you'll see where I'm going with this. RetroFE. And there we go. So we've got a video playing at the top, which is a little bit of a slow video, and we've got our Amiga logo, and we've also got an Amiga 1200 picture, and we've also got everything inside. So somebody was asking me earlier on actually about setting up RetroFE to look like coin ops, which you can get from Arcade Punks. So for now, what I'm going to suggest you do is actually go over to the RetroFE website and go to the download the latest themes section, and one that I'm personally enjoying at the moment just to get you started is going to be the Carousel 16:9. So if you download this, and that's going to produce a .zip folder, just open this up. And what we're going to do is go back to your RetroFE folder, and in here you're going to see a layouts folder. This is where your themes go, or as RetroFE refers to them as layouts. Just copy the contents inside. But we need to configure this so RetroFE knows which theme or layout to select when you open it up. So go to Settings.conf in the root of your RetroFE folder. And just open this up with Notepad. And just here, we're going to look for layout, which is about the 4th line down from display settings. This is currently displayed on Aeon Nox, which is default with RetroFE when you download it. We need to type in here the name of that theme which we just downloaded, which is Carousel 16:9, and paste it. And what I'm going to do is go to File, Save, close this down, and if we open up RetroFE once last time, there we go, so we got a new layout now. And that's it for today's RetroFE and Amiga PUAE RetroArch setup guide. Like I say during the video, someone asked me earlier on if I could start doing a video guide series on getting you up together with something like CoinOps. So this is going to be your first steps. And like I said, if you've not checked out the other RetroFE comprehensive setup guide I did the other day, also check that one out where I set up GameCube in that video too. But anyways, if you liked today's video, hit notification, subscribe and like, and also join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. But until next time, stay retro.